Good evening. I just got done making a video and it's scheduled for 9 o'clock. It looks like I don't know why they do that. It looks like it's live, and I never get to say hello to anybody. Hello, Deb. And there's a few other people. I see how many, but I don't see anybody. I guess they go by. This is the first time I've ever done this live, I think. So, but this is kind of important because I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but I'm going to run it because you know what? Rory exposed something a while back, and then everybody kind of kind of brushed it aside. Oh, it can't be that. It can't be that. And Rory exposed this like I don't know, a couple months ago maybe. And I'm going to show you this video that just came out a couple months, a couple, couple hours ago. And hi, Hiroshima. And, and good night. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to share this here because I think this is very important. And I always thought it was when Rory exposed this. I always thought this was important, but it just kind of got left behind. And somebody came out, Nick's Peaks. They're good. They're good. I'm telling you. Let's check it out.
You want to send her up back here? Up. Knock to the front door. No one came.
You get a lot of guys trying to argue private property access. They don't come out with like landlords.
Yeah.
Or we come back the next day or the next time you work.
Yeah.
There's no a lot of cooperation does not go a long ways with us. You're gonna be so angry at me.
You know, there's a job to do for everybody has a job and a role to play, and this includes. This is my role as the parent.
Viewer discretion advised. This program contains violent content that may be disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, Donna. Hi, Tammy.
Is it just me, or is it hella annoying that everyone's like, blah, blah, blah. Dylan and Beth totally could have not heard. Look at the Bundy crimes. Bitch, Bundy killed them girls in a mansion, bruh. Whole different story than living at 1122 King. Although, I've lived in some ghetto shit before. That's a big-ass house. But it ain't mansion big. Bottom line, it ain't no Tallahassee Chi Omega mansion. Okay? But I guess they could have been in the tunnels.
Do you see where they're pointing?
The residents.
Do you see where they're pointing?
Same could be said for Ethan and
Keep
Xana.
watching.
Those seeking to virtue signal would imply that justice should only be served to those with enough societal juice, those deemed worthy. It should have never happened to them. So should it have happened to a sex worker? A drug addict? I beg to differ. So let's just reflect on the notion that Bethany and Dylan
See that, people? Do you see this right here?
As it is told. I happened to really get to see what it looks like from across the street. So I did a little peeping. Okay, peeking, because peeping's just weird. If I were not a creep, with an investigative, innocent, and totally non-creepy purpose, were to creep around the house and look over,
yes.
what the hell?
Boogie,
the
it
King
is.
Roadhouse has a set of steps that totally would
Yep,
ease the
holy
pedestrian
crap.
on their
Oh,
stride
shit.
up that hill.
Right
Up the
by
hill.
the fucking
Now, you want to go
house.
even deeper? Let's
Excuse
go
my
back a few
language.
years. Stairs are still there, but the house is not. It's a slab. Or what the hell is that? It looks like a one-story house with steps leading up to the roof to me. I don't know. It's kind of a terrible picture, of course, but what are you gonna... Speaking of looking for subterranean areas, I happened to spot a cave during that convoy video while the police are convoying the garbage truck to wherever the hell it goes. Now, this house is one of the ones that has requested that it not be on the Google Maps aerial footage or the street view footage. But you can see it's got a very interesting infrastructure here. It's got lots of steps, and it appears to be right in front of the King Road house because, or like right to the side of it. Because, I mean, as soon as you step over, boom, you can see the house that's on the other corner adjacent from the King Road house.
Right, Donna? Can you see? Okay, is it blowing up? Is the screen blowing up full size? That Rory exposed. Okay, he exposed these tunnels, and there is 9 miles of tunnels under the university and the whole town. And what she is showing is places to enter those tunnels. Now, tell me how easy it would be to take off and run down these tunnels. I don't know if you've seen that tunnel video or not that Rory exposed here a couple of months ago. But yeah, steam tunnels, exactly, Hiroshima. You're right, steam tunnels. And yeah, how easy? Maybe come on. The weapon could be down there, that they could have escaped down there. It'd be so easy, and there would be no cars involved. There would be no cars involved. You get what I'm saying? I mean, this is, and she's showing entry places right by the house. Now, where's the start thing? Oh, right.
As Alice said, I can't go back to yesterday. I'm different now than I was then. And I'm a Bama girl, roll tide. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to think about subterranean options? We can't really dig where I'm from unless you just want to go play in the mud. You can dig a mud puddle. Anyway, our ditches are above ground. But on
I love
places
her
like the
style.
coast, many
Totally love
times
her
our storm
style.
sewage pipes are big enough to drive a Mack truck through. Although some people seem to have got my last video confused.
Exactly,
I was merely
Hiroshima.
trying to
Exactly.
find an exit from, normal ground level to subterranean level, and
Right,
in
Deb.
theory, see if they could access
Hi,
a
32.
more clandestine system or
Tammy.
network after they've tunneled through whatever
Donna.
secondary system they built to get through that private storm sewage that they are installing. But they are very intent on it. They are, in fact, spending money on it now. There's videos on their website right now discussing the storm steward, the storm stewage. They're gonna put it up with some carrots and peas. So good, make you want to slap your mama. Just kidding. It's just stormwater. But that shit has lots of pesticides and stuff. So there's like this whole federal government that'll come in and jump up on your ass if you start dumping things into federal waters that have a high rate of hazardous materials. What drain or who exactly is dumping anything hazardous, or why there's a sudden increase? and the hazardous materials being dumped. We'll see if I ever get around to. But check it out. I'm gonna read you my sane people list for why I can't go backwards. A, for all of us Southerners who will stick their nose in tunnels. That's crazy. No, it's actually not. There's like this whole thing where
That's
people
the
have cities,
tunnels.
malls, hospitals,
That's the
and
tunnels.
older universities who've always been making their own steam power since way back in the day. Not to mention the nuclear universities who've been making their own nuclear power since back in the day. Circa back in the mother day. WSU and Idaho are no different. Both of them have steam tunnels which power their universities. All right, so obviously they could just be using the steam tunnels. But maintenance guys and a lot of legitimate purposes also use the steam tunnels. So my guess is you'd only use the steam as much as possible, not to mention that it gets pretty dangerous and cold down there. Haha, just kidding, hot. So all of the WSU tunnels are fairly open and in the public, and they look fairly straight.
Wow,
They're
Tommy.
7 miles long, and coincidentally, if you hit a straight line towards Moscow, it's a little bit less than 7 miles to get to Idaho University, IOU. IOU is no different. They make their own power, apparently by burning wood and maybe coal, I think. I have to go back and read it. It's been like a whole few hours. And I took in lots of info at one time. Okay, so guess
Right.
what? University
Exactly,
of
Boogie.
Idaho has since removed their video that would have showed us their steam system and their little power plant that they run in the University of Idaho. Not only does it power the university, but it also powers university.
But doesn't this make? I mean, it would answer. Wouldn't it answer some questions of, how they got away? Like if there's more than one, if it isn't Brian, let's look at it as it isn't Brian. And they did this deed, it'd be so easy. And they know about these tunnels because Rory exposed it and it showed kids running down the tunnel and talking about partying and blah, blah, blah. Wendy, okay, I'll call you Wendy. Yeah, right, the Chinese, yep. Right. And I just think it would be so easy and even to hide a weapon maybe down there for a while or get it down there. You can change the clothes. You can, I mean, it's a getaway that doesn't involve a car. And that to me makes more sense than a car driving around. It just makes more sense to me. And when I seen Nick's Peaks, man, she is just she's good.
Heights. University Heights is that area of homes that's technically off campus, but obviously pertaining to these murders. That's what I heard anyway, in a book once called the Latah County Assessor's Office, where also, check it out, I was able to find where the owner of the University Heights property, before it had been sold off to multiple people,
What? Wow. Exactly, Deb. Exactly. Yeah, she is, Wendy. Exactly, Hiroshima. Yes, Donna. Yeah, there is one. She showed it. There is one right by 1122. It's kind of scary knowing that. Hey, Sarge. I'm
In April
live, buddy.
2019, Nigel Jaffe penned an article titled Steam Tunnels, Legends from the Underground. This captivating piece delved into the enduring tales surrounding the
This is quite
network of
interesting,
tunnels hidden
Sarge.
beneath a college campus.
Neeks Peaks, man.
According to Jaffe, these tunnels were originally
Yep,
constructed in
Sarge
the
is
early
in the
20th
house.
century to
How
connect
do I
central
get you
heating
up here?
plants' utility lines to
I
various
don't know how to
buildings
get
on
you up here,
campus.
Sarge. I've never done that.
Over time, their size and notoriety
Whoa.
grew, and they became a subject of fascination for students seeking secretive pathways across campus. One of the most intriguing aspects of the tunnels was the ongoing cat-and-mouse game between campus safety and security and the students who ventured into the underground passages. Jaffe recounted a chilling anecdote corroborated by director of CSS, Dave Boyer. The student required a significant number of stitches to reattach their scalp, lending an air of truth to the hair-raising legends. Jaffe also revealed that the tunnel's history at the college dates back to at least the late 1920s, as documented in an article by Richard Duffield in December 1949.
I put some kind of link there,
Duffield's
Sarge.
piece, titled Subterranean Tunnel System Shrouds College Campus
I
in
don't know what
Mystery,
that does.
Danger, compared the tunnels to New York City's subway lines, and praised the ingenious purposes students found for them. Senior project manager Jason Moran confirmed the
Okay, I'm trying to figure this out, Sarge. I put a link there. What happens when I don't know where you come. Do you want to jump up, Sarge? I left that link there. I did nothing. What does that mean? Okay, I'm trying to figure this out, Sarge. I left this one link there. Is that link working? That's the link where it shows to invite guests. All right. I copied. I'm going to put it in there one more time. Okay, we'll let this play out here.
tunnel's existence predating the 1930s, with their original purpose being the installation and maintenance of steam pipes. Moran described the tunnels as varying in size, from accommodating utility conduits to larger passageways used by maintenance staff. Further insight into the tunnel's structural details was provided by Bob Wright, the executive director for facilities operations. Wright remarked on the tunnel's long-standing association with mystery and intrigue, noting that additional precautions were eventually implemented to paint a vivid picture of the steam tunnels beneath the college campus, steeped in legends and tales passed down through generations of students. It highlighted the allure and fascination surrounding these hidden underground passageways, forever etching them into the college's folklore.
You are now in the presence of a king.
Sorry about that. Hi, Susie. Yeah, I'm trying to get in here, but I've never done it before, so please forgive me. Um, yeah, I wonder that too. I wonder that too. Yeah, you can hear me now, though, right, Boogie? I mean, can you hear me now? Am I still muted? I shouldn't be muted now. Hey, Jaded, I'm going to run this. I'm going to run this video one more time.
Brian, what you doing? She is? The door. Yeah.
Watch
You
this,
want to send her up
Sarge.
back here? Up. Knocked to the front door. No one came.
You get a lot of guys trying to argue private property access.
Okay.
They don't come out. We just contact landlords.
Yeah.
Or we come back the next day or the next time you work.
Yeah.
There's no a lot of cooperation. Does not go along on what is. You're gonna be so angry.
Everybody has a job and a role to play in this. Includes. This is my role as the parent.
Viewer discretion advised. This program contains violent content that may be disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Is it just me, or is it hella annoying that everyone's like, blah, blah, blah. Dylan and Beth totally could have not heard. Look at the Bundy crimes. Bitch, Bundy killed them girls in a mansion, bruh. Whole different story than living at 1122 King. Although, I've lived in some ghetto shit before. That's a big-ass house. But it ain't mansion big. Bottom line, it ain't no Tallahassee Chi Omega mansion. Okay? But I guess they could have been in the tunnels. Yep. They were at the residence. Same could be said for Ethan and Xana. Those seeking to virtue signal would imply that justice should only be served to those with enough societal juice, those deemed worthy. It should have never happened to them. So should it have happened to a sex worker? A drug addict? I beg to differ. So let's just reflect on the notion that Bethany and Dylan are not telling the truth as it is told. Happened to occur to me, we've been really missing the other side of the house. We rarely get to see what it looks like from across the street. So I did a little peeping. Okay, peeking, because peeping's just weird. If I were not a creep, with an investigative, innocent, and totally non-creepy purpose, were to creep around the house and look over, what the hell? The King Roadhouse has a set of steps that totally would ease the pedestrian on their stride up that hill. Up the hill. Now, you want to go even deeper? let's go back a few years. Stairs are still there, but the house is not. It's a slab. Or what the hell is that? It looks like a one-story house with steps leading up to the roof to me. I don't know. It's kind of a terrible picture, of course, but what are you gonna do? Speaking of looking for subterranean areas, I happened to spot a cave during that convoy video while the police are convoying the garbage truck to wherever the hell it goes. Now, this house is one of the ones that has requested that it not be on the Google Maps aerial footage or the street view. But you can see it's got a very interesting infrastructure here. It's got lots of steps, and it appears to be right in front of the King Road house because, or like right to the side of it. Because, I mean, as soon as you step over, boom, you can see the house that's on the other corner adjacent from the King Road house. As Alice said, I can't go back to yesterday. I'm different now than I was then. And I'm a Bama girl, roll tide. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to think about subterranean options? We can't really dig where I'm from unless you just want to go play in the mud. You can dig a mud puddle. Anyway, our ditches are above ground. But on places like the coast, many times our storm sewage pipes are big enough to drive a Mack truck through. Although some people seem to have got my last video confused. I was
The old cadre, you seem to have figured it out.
There I am. You know what the problem was is I got two different accounts going on. I got my Tommy Chute account, and then I got the Once Upon a Crime Time account. You guys hear me?
I can hear
Sarge?
you. Yeah. How the hell are you?
What happened to you? I can't hear.
Can you-
Oh,
can you-
okay. All right.
I
All right. I'm good,
I
man.
self
I'm
I
all good.
self mute.
Yeah.
I self mute when I'm not talking to try to not step on people.
No, you can step on me all the time. I don't care. So how's your day going, man? Did you watch this video or what? What do you think of this video?
With all of these tunnels,
Yeah, right by the house. She even located one right by the house.
well, I'll tell you. Look at. I think there's value and they're interesting. Connecting them to the crime, I don't know. Could they have been
I don't
how
know either.
could somebody have come on foot? Could people have come on foot, egressed the tunnels, did their deed, got back in the tunnels and left, leaving no car involved here? Possibly.
Right.
I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things we can consider, but I don't think we have any evidence. Although I don't think we have any evidence there was a car involved in this crime at all, other than we're being told that it was.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they got videos of some guy who looks like he's lost. Right. To me, it looks like a delivery guy that can't find his address in that video.
Right. That's what
Right?
it looks like to me too.
So,
Right.
so was that the car that did the deed? I don't know. Did someone come out of these tunnels? I don't know. And that's reasonable doubt. That's the whole point of reasonable doubt. I mean, this,
Exactly.
were the tunnels looked at and investigated? Apparently not.
Right. Hi, Kathleen.
For all we know, there was access from inside the house directly to a tunnel. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, she showed an entryway right by the house
Okay. Yeah.
on that Neeks Peak video. I mean, that is crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, if they're going to pull something off, and Rory exposed these tunnels like months ago, or a couple of months anyway, at least ago,
Right.
and but I didn't realize there was one that like an entry right that close in the yard.
I'll
It's
tell
like,
you
what
what.
the fuck?
In my city, there's a subway under it. They say they've blocked it off, but they say they've cured homelessness 100 times and it's still there. So, they block
Right.
off tunnels, but some of these tunnels, I know there's tunnels in my area downtown that are steam tunnels, which was very common.
That's what these are. Yeah.
Very common. That's how generators were turned. That's how buildings were heated through radiators. And it was shared from a central location. Right. So one company, your local energy company, would be boiling this water at hundreds and hundreds of degrees, and those pipes would be filled with steam, and your banks and your laundromats and your businesses would all be obtaining their energy from the steam.
Right. Well, they say like in Moscow and Pullman, that's why they're like when it snows and stuff, their sidewalks just melts.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. See, there's always
Right. Right.
Yeah, we think we're so special in this world as human beings, but we're still playing with fire. Everything is based on fire. If the fire ever goes out, civilization's over.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? We really are still part of it, stuck on fire.
Right. Wouldn't be able to cook my ribeyes, man. Come on.
Oh yeah. The magic of our world is based on fire. Nothing more complicated than that.
Right. Well, I thought it was an interest. I got a video that's supposed to be. It's scheduled to start at 9 my time, and but I was cooking supper and I'm watching YouTube, and all of a sudden I see Neeks Peaks has a new one out, and I was like, oh my god, are you serious? She's showing these entryways by the house and stuff. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I jumped on here just to do it, and I thought I'd just go live and do it.
No, absolutely. Again, it comes back to, is there relevance to them to the case itself? And they're no more relevant than the car itself. Right? I mean, in all fairness, these tunnel accesses are as conclusive of being used as that car is being used at the crime.
Exactly.
Right? So it's reasonable doubt.
Right. Yeah, it's going to cause reasonable doubt. Now, if Anne knows about this or the defense knows about this, who knows? I don't know.
I'm sure they do. If they all know their sidewalks are melting all by themselves. Right? I mean,
yeah, but they might not hide it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And again, I don't think she even needs to be aware of this. They have to show beyond a reasonable doubt that car was used to get to, commit, and egress those crimes. And they can do that with a story. But when it comes down to a piece of evidence that will confirm their story, like if I tell you I'm only 45, right?
Right.
I may look young for my age. I don't know. But if you really want to know my age, ask for my license. Right. And you'll find out that I'm older than 45, right?
Well, did you lie to me?
Yeah, I did. I lied to you. But that's pretty much what we see they're doing with the pings and with the car. They're telling a story that puts them there because they found transfer DNA on a button or a snap or inside a sheath or up someone's ass, wherever the hell they claim they want to find it.
Right.
And because of that tells us that these other things that they happen to see translate to them being Brian Koberger, right? That's the
Right.
narrative that those, and you could look at those pieces of information in that way. You really can. You could say that
Yeah.
the snap, the DNA on the snap, and the videos and the pings can be all put in one basket and be looked at in isolation and say that this shows this guy did it. I can see people coming to that conclusion.
Right.
But again, because there's no definitive evidence on that car being involved, those pings having anything to do with it, then I think it falls flat. It should be questioned. And it doesn't mean the guy didn't do it, doesn't mean that those events aren't factual, but they just, there's that thing. Where's your driver's license showing me the exact age? Because you telling me that that's part of the crime is it's just not acceptable. I'd like to see evidence of that, right? They're doing that with the Gigolo case. They did that with the Bundy case. They did it with, right, all of these big crimes.
Right. I just find these tunnels because I mean, it would be so easy to clean up and get out of there through the tunnels and not be seen.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
you're
right. I mean, that's almost like a more practical way to go about gaining access to that yard.
Right.
Now, when Rory went there, was he able to see that there were still doors and locks on them? Were they locked from the inside, from the chains on the outside?
He tried to look at because we heard that there by the library there was an entrance. Of course, he didn't find the one by the house.
See, and
but Neeks Peaks did.
And by the house, though, do they show it clearly enough where you could denote whether there's a lock on the outside or not? Oftentimes, those tunnels.
I'll show you. It's in this video. I'll run it again.
Yeah, please. I'd like to see what they claim is an access.
Yeah, I'll run it from the beginning because it's quite interesting.
Brian, did you do it? She is? The door. Yeah, she's at the front door. You want to send her up back here? Up. Knocked at the front door. No one came.
You can kill their volume, but it's going to show us where there's an access.
They don't come out. We just contact landlords.
Yeah, stop for a second. Stop. Go back to that image again.
Or we come back the next day, or
can you go back to that image?
Yeah.
Go back to this image. Show us that image that you just had, Tommy. You passed it up by a mile. It was way back in the beginning. There was an arrow pointed at some kind of door. Before this. Before that. Okay, let it go. Let it go from there forward. And then be ready to hit stop, Tommy. No, let it play back from where you see Kohlberger.
They don't come out. We just
Let it
contact
play now.
landlords.
Let it play for a minute. Yeah, hit play. There you go.
Or we come back the next day, or next time you
Watch
work.
this.
Yeah.
Just note a lot of cooperation does not go a long ways with us. You're gonna be so angry.
There's a job to do for everybody. Has a job and a role play in this.
All right, stop it for a second.
Includes this is my role as the parent.
Tommy. All right. The picture they showed of a door. The reason I wanted that picture to come back up again is kind of a moron goes to get a picture of a door and ends up with an image like that. It's the worst image I ever saw of a door. You can't be distinct that it's even a door. You can't see a handle. You can't see anything. It was a blurry white something. And that now you're telling me that that's an image of a door, but it isn't an image of a door until it's an image of a door, right? So I take issue with that image they claim is a door because, I mean, I don't know. Dude, that's like me taking an image of me by hiding my camera under the blanket. Do you follow what I'm saying, Tommy? Am I even coming through?
Viewer discretion advised. This program contains violent content
Can you
that may
even
be
hear
disturbing
me?
for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Is it just me, or is it hella annoying that everyone's like, Dylan and Beth totally could have not heard. Look at the Bundy crimes. Bitch, Bundy killed them girls in a mansion, bruh. Whole different story than living at 1122 King. Although, I've lived in some ghetto shit before. That's a big-ass house. But it ain't mansion big. Bottom line, it ain't no Tallahassee Chi Omega mansion. Okay? But I guess they could have been in the tunnels. They were at the residence. Same could be said for Ethan and Xana.
See what I
Those
mean? What
seeking
is that? What are
divinity
they
signal
pointing at?
would imply that justice should
Tommy, can
only
you
be
hear me?
served to those with enough societal juice, those deemed worthy. It should have never happened to them. So should it have happened to a sex worker? A drug addict? I beg to differ. So let's just reflect on the
Yeah, it's in
notion
here. I was
that
muted.
Bethany and Dylan
Yeah, let it
are
play.
not
They're
telling
gonna
the
show it.
truth
Now
as it
look.
is
Now
told.
look. See that?
Happened to
Look at
occur
that.
to
Look at
me.
that.
We've been really
What?
Tell me what that is, bro.
Where?
Right here.
It's a set of steps,
Right there.
maybe. Maybe that's a set of steps. I don't know. See, what I'm
It
trying to say to you
looks
is,
like a
is
hole
that
to
image.
me. That
But
looks
can I
like a
just,
hole.
Tommy? We were told what it was, and then they show us an image, and then we impose upon that image what we're looking to find. What I'm telling you is that's an image of nothing. In all fairness to that image, it does not show me a door to access a tunnel. It just doesn't. And does it show me a hole? I don't know what it's
It needs to be a
showing.
door.
Well, where's the access to the
Well,
tunnel? You're saying it's a raw
this
hole in
is
the
in the
ground? What would-
backyard.
Tommy, I get that, but that doesn't
Well,
show
who
me
knows?
access to a tunnel. There you go. That's my point. Who knows what it is? That's the only thing I'm trying to say to you. It's just like,
missing the
who
other
knows?
side of the house.
Right?
We rarely get
Well, I've seen where they blocked it off inside the tunnel. Have you seen that before? When this
No.
was
See, like that. Stop right
exposed,
there. Look at. They say tunnels, but I can't make out what they're showing me. I see a brick wall on the left, and then something there that they're claiming is a tunnel or a door or something.
well,
I
I
don't know
know
what that is.
from inside the tunnel, it showed that it had been cemented up.
Oh, so you can't even get out
the
through there.
axis. At one point, yeah, but
Oh,
there's 9 miles of tunnels
okay.
under
to see what
Moscow.
it looks like
But the access
from across
adjacent
the
to the house
street.
is cemented up.
So I did a little peeping. Okay, peeking, because peeping's just weird. If I were not a creep, with an
Then what is that
investigative, innocent,
police officer doing
and
over it?
totally non-creepy purpose, were to creep around the house and look over, what the hell? The King Roadhouse has a set of steps that totally would ease the pedestrian on their driver. Let's go back a few years. Stairs are still there, but the house is not. It's a slab. Or what the hell is that? It looks like a one-story house with steps leading up to the roof to me. I don't know. It's kind of a terrible picture, of course, but what are you gonna? Speaking of looking for subterranean areas, I happened to spot a cave during that convoy video while the police are convoying the garbage truck to wherever the
Yeah, that's what I
hell
think too,
it
Deb.
goes. Now, this house is one of the ones that has requested that it not be on the Google Maps aerial footage or the street view footage. But you can see it's got a very interesting infrastructure here. It's got lots of steps, and it appears to be right in front of the King Road house because, or like right to the side of it. Because, I mean, as soon as you step over, boom, you can see the house that's on the other corner adjacent from the King Road house.
just kind of skipping around here.
No, and I am not in dispute that there's tunnels all over the place there. That doesn't strike me as an unusual thing.
That one thing look like a hole that goes to those tunnels. That's what it looks like to me. But
It may
could be
very
wrong.
well be. No, there's no right or wrong here. Is all I'm trying to say is, unless those areas allowed egress to the backyard of that house, then the tunnels don't mean anything.
Right. Well,
Right?
some of those tunnels they said went right into the houses.
That may be, but usually the parts that go into the house are to feed in steam pipes and things like that from back in the day.
Right.
Right. So they wouldn't necessarily need full access into someone's basement at every time they put a steam pipe out through.
Right.
They would service it from inside the home. God forbid there ever needed to be a service. Otherwise, it would just be another branch off the main line. Right.
I just think it is very interesting,
Yeah, it is.
And show the tunnel map. You know what? I don't have that tunnel map on me. I've seen it. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe.
No, I know those tunnels. Those tunnels could play a role in this crime, but there's just nothing we have to connect them directly. The fact that they exist could be a coincidence, right? Or they could have been used for the crime, and the car video is a coincidence, right?
Right.
I mean, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place with what we know on different things that they don't seem to want to share with the public. How come there's no gag order on that Gilgo deal? Right? Where's the gag order for that one? None.
Okay. Let me see. I think this might be it right here. I'll go here. Okay, can you see this now? Did I switch screens?
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Yeah, and those are there's 9 miles of tunnels. So and it showed when Roy did that, it showed kids running through those tunnels, and I mean, so they know about it. I mean, and you've seen all the graffiti. I mean, they party and shit down there, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's well known, and I'm not saying that that's what happened or anything like that.
No, I get it though, but it is kind of an interesting little twist to something that isn't part of very many murders. How often do you hear about tunnels?
Right.
That actually exists very rarely. This isn't London.
Yeah, I never, I never knew that in America that these towns were like that and they had all these tunnels. I never knew that until this case.
Most of your city centers are like that, all around America. So you go into Chicago, New York, anywhere, a small town in Ohio. If there's once electricity became a thing, right? Then you'll see most also small cities grew up near water. They were planted by waterways. Then they eventually started then when the railroad came out, they started being on rail lines. But all your original cities cropped up near water for not just transportation and fishing, but also for the availability to boil it and turn generators.
Right. That's just strange to me. I mean, I'm 63 years old and I just learned about it this year.
my city used to have a subway, and my city isn't that big. I think there's more tunnels under that city of Moscow than there was mine, and mine's it's a city.
Right.
And we didn't have 9 miles of tunnel, but we had tunnels underneath it for sure. And then we had steam tunnels that are still in operation to this very day, where there's a centralized company that produces the steam and feeds them off the buildings. They heat their buildings with it.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely. It was the most cost-effective way to do it, to keep the city from being belching smoke with everybody burning wood to heat things. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was one of the main reasons they did that.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. It's just like,
Yeah, we're industrious as ants, man. We don't play.
Right.
What do you mean you can't move that mountain? Can't someone make a bigger shovel? Oh, okay, let's think about that.
Right. Hey, have you talked to Corey today? I talked to
Rory.
him.
His name is Rory.
Yeah, but
Why am I correcting you?
but when I talk to you about him, then I call him Corey because that's what you always call him.
I talked to the chorister today.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, he couldn't stream today, whatever his reason. There might be 3 or 4 reasons. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, he's going live tomorrow night. So yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow night he'll be on. Poor Corey. Corey has no idea. We have no idea. I think he worked late or something.
I think that's what I think. Actually, I think he might still be at work.
Yeah. So he'll do a Monday night. In this case, right now,
unless he texted me back here or something. But I
I'm
did
gonna.
get a text from somebody. Oh, wait a minute. I did get a text from him.
Yeah, I didn't. I called him.
He needs to chill out. He's chilling, man. He needs to chill.
I never said BK had been freed. Somebody up, and not me. No way, Deb. I did not say Brian Koberger was out. No. Somebody in the chat did, and I ignored it. I was like ducked. I was like, I don't know who's saying that, but I'm not pointing that out. I have no idea. I've not heard that, not seen it written anywhere. And no, I did not say that.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll be calling. I don't know whether to call him or not. He's chilling right now.
Oh, well, tell him you can come in here.
That whole shit, you know.
Listen, I think there's only 2 ways Brian Koberger
putting pictures up of his family and stuff. It's not right, man.
Oh yeah,
that's
people
just
out there
that's just bullshit, dude. You know that. Yeah, how can posting pictures of his family and shit? That's just wrong, man.
Deb, somebody did say BK was out. Somebody did say that a while ago. So you did read that, but you attribute it to me because I talk too much. I get it.
Sarge, did you say Big K was out? He probably did.
Man, I didn't know. Trying to set me up with fake news.
Yeah, that's what. There's one right there. See, Hiroshima, the tunnel map goes to King Road. See, so I mean, it is there, and I don't know. That hole looked like a place to at least maybe get it. Who knows? Maybe someone dug a hole to get into the damn thing. I don't know.
Listen, can I just say what I think that
interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's what we were saying. We don't know if the guy walked, if he rode a bike, if he came from a tunnel, or if he got out of a car. I mean, we just don't know.
Oh, yeah,
they haven't shown us anything that it was a car, right? And that's why people are looking at all these alternative ways of the person gaining access, because the car certainly doesn't tell us that. You're telling us that's what you know what I mean? That's like, what do they say? That's like giving someone a piece of shit and telling them it tastes like sugar. I mean, anybody with a brain's going to say, no, bro. What do you mean it tastes like sugar? You eat it. You're going to be like, no. That tastes like sugar. Take a bite. No, I'm not taking a bite of your shit. Right? So don't tell me some car wandering around the neighborhood and tell me that that's the killer. In the dark, with no identification of the vehicle or the occupant, and tell me it's a Kia, specifically a 2015 with Brian Koberger in it. Well,
yeah.
Right. If they could have shown us that, this would have been over. People wouldn't have thought somebody walked, they parachuted in, they beamed in from the Starship Enterprise. We don't know how. We don't know how he got into the house. Right. And whose fault is that? That's the cops' fault. Because they use such a erroneous thing like cell phone pings. Well,
yeah, they're going to have a hard time with that one. Unless it's triangulized, you know. They're going to have a real hard time.
They already they shot themselves in the foot when they said the ping the following morning was inaccurate. We believe he was out of town or something.
Right. Yeah, blew the credibility to hell.
Right. You're telling me trust all these other pings, but the one that showed him return to the scene at 9:30 a.m. is not accurate. We believe he was out of the area. What?
Right.
What are you talking about? How do we trust the other pings, Tommy?
You just told us, and we believed for a couple of months that his car was there.
Right. Only to find out it wasn't. And now you're saying, but don't worry. The rest of the pings are accurate.
It was a ghost car.
But even worse, there's no pings during the time of the crime. So to explain that, you're telling me he must have turned off his phone because that's what criminals do. Well,
Right.
did you see him turn off the phone? Is there any witness to Brian Kohlberger turning off his phone?
Right. Yeah, they're gonna have. I don't. Okay.
I think that,
I'm gonna ask you this: do you think it's going to trial?
I think if they get a preliminary hearing, it may fall apart there. And here's where I think they may get buried in the
That's what I
DNA.
think.
I don't question that his DNA matches the knife sheath. I'll accept that. But there's something
Right.
called due process. And when you're told not to use the genealogical information, that this information
Right.
is simply a tip, do not use it in warrants or in court,
Yeah.
then you put it in a warrant asking the judge not to consider it, and the warrant gets approved. Well, here's what I think is supposed to happen. Because you have a Fourth Amendment protection, okay? Your right to privacy. Your government can't trample over you. Just think of this for a second, folks. You're a third cousin, a 50th cousin to somebody, and the government is looking up your biological DNA data. And they're going to take that data of yours and they're going to use it to start building a chain, or what they want you to believe is a tree that leads to a criminal. Now, is it constitutional for them to use your stuff without a warrant? That's the question here.
Right.
Can I go back into your generation? You got a lot of generations of people around, right, Tommy? You're
Yep.
well established, so we could go back
Yep.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years and find Tommy's greatest great grandfather's biology, right? Now,
Right.
do we have a right to use that without his consent and without a legal warrant to lead us up a chain to a guy that then ultimately we say is the murderer? I don't think that passes constitutional muster. In some states, they will not allow genealogical database work
Right.
to generate a suspect. Okay.
Yep.
And that's what Ann Smith is pointing to. Is what they did now. Now, when they say we're not going to use the knife sheath, here's where I think that Ann may get them. They didn't get a sample of Brian Kohlberger's DNA and test it against the knife sheath.
Exactly.
They had a genealogical makeup, and they used the father's DNA to confirm the genealogical makeup and then arrested Tommy, which means that they were still dependent upon a genealogical makeup that wasn't supposed to be used in a warrant or court when they used his dad in place of him. I believe once the family tree was done, they should have immediately done anything in their power to collect Brian's direct DNA sample, either by questioning or by surreptitiously following him, right? And then compare that sample. But they didn't do it that way. And I think in there lies another stumbling block for the prosecution. They confirmed the genealogical information and then used that confirmation to go after Kohlberger, where in fact they probably should not have used the father's as confirmation.
Yeah.
They should have shut their mouth. They should have
fucked up.
collected it, shut their mouth, and then went and questioned Mr. Kohlberger and got his DNA sample and then run a test.
Right. Yep.
And then when asked, how did you come up with him? Say that as a tip, there was a genealogical database ran on the sample that we had, and it turned up a relative of Mr. Brian Kohlberger. So then we compared Kohlberger's to that, and here we are.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see?
Well, yeah, and I've been saying for forever, why didn't they question him and bring him in and
Right.
get his DNA and do it the right way? I mean, it's so fucked up, man. That's not how you do things. I've watched many crime shows, and I'm sure you have, and everybody in the audience here
Dude,
has.
I'm a criminal. I'm an ex-criminal.
Right. And
Okay.
what do they do? What do they do? They don't go. They
Everything they
bring
do
the
is supposed
person
to-
in. They bring the person in and they interrogate him. They try to get a confession. They get this DNA. They get his fingerprints if they have to, if they arrest him or whatever. But to let him escape and go to Pennsylvania, but that brings that whole fugitive thing up, and I don't know exactly what they're doing there, but
I don't know why. I don't think that has anything to do with anything. In all fairness, Tommy,
what's that?
I don't think this talk of being a fugitive has anything to do with anything. They say it allows them to avoid constitutional rights. Well, that's neither here nor there. They didn't do anything outside of what they would have normally done wherever they arrested the guy, right? Other than they didn't use body, there's some procedure. Maybe that's, but my point is, they had a sample that led to a tree of an individual. Okay, that if they
Yep.
carried that tree forward, it would eventually got to Brian Kohlberger. Since Brian Kohlberger had a white car, and since Brian Kohlberger lived in the area, and since Brian Kohlberger may have pings of him driving around that area all the time, that was sufficient information to make him your top suspect and seek Brian Kohlberger's DNA directly.
Right.
Okay, they may have
Yep.
even have gotten a judge to force Mr. Kohlberger, not arrest him, but force him to give over his DNA. You may have had
Right.
enough probable cause to generate a judge to say, yeah, get this guy's DNA and eliminate him or include him.
Instead of doing this whole IgG thing, but now I'm wondering because there's supposed to be this informant, and this informant isn't going to testify, and all this shit. I'm wondering if it wasn't the family that turned him in. His dad turned him in before, for when he stole that. What was it? The phone of his sister. And it makes me wonder: did the dad?
No.
Maybe they didn't dig through the trash, is what I'm saying.
The informant, just so you know, the informant, from my understanding, is they're trying to treat the FBI's genealogical work as coming from an informant.
Okay, all right.
Not an individual. So what they're
Right.
trying to do is protect. They want to protect the people in Brian Kohlberger's family tree. That's why they got a gag order. Their argument is
Right.
those people should, but my point and the constitutional rights of those people's names. Is it right for the police to have got them that way and then use their biological data to go forward and use it without their consent? That could be a serious constitutional hurdle they can't overcome. And then even if that is not overcome, the fact that you weren't supposed to use this genealogical data in a courtroom or in a warrant, right?
Right.
Now they're saying they're not bringing the knife sheath into trial, that knife sheath doesn't mean anything. But in fact, it was that knife sheath in the father's DNA, the genealogical work, that then made you go arrest Kohlberger. So for you to say that it has nothing to do with nothing causes another problem for the prosecution, because they never, like in the Gilgo case, they actually got his DNA off a piece of bread. They actually caught the guy with the phone in his hand, right? So, if this guy is innocent, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
With Kohlberger, it seems like he may be innocent, and all the work they did, they took a crime and fit it to this guy because some of these peculiarities applied.
Right. Yeah, if it goes to prelim, and I kind of hope it does go to prelim, because we'll find out more information, and it might just get cleared right there, and it might be just over with, and they'll have to go investigate somebody else and just get it over with. I don't know.
I don't think they will. I think if this guy isn't the guy, and he very well.
Hi, Joanne.
Listen, he could be the guy. These pieces that we see they have assembled that seem very weak might be a lucky fucking shot, and they actually caught the right guy. That's possible too. I mean, right?
That could be right. Yeah,
that definitely could be. Even though we don't seem to think that someone could do two people at once, not take a blood trail all over the house, but do two more people.
Yeah,
leave the house, not leave a mark.
Doesn't
find
make
it hard
any
to
sense.
believe, but there was a point in time nobody believed you could fly too. So there's that.
Right. All right, I'm gonna shut this down, and because I got another video that's coming up at 9:00.
Yeah. It's 9:30 where I am. So
and it looks like it's live. This is what's weird. I pre-record it, right, and then when it goes onto YouTube, it shows the live thing like it's live.
Yeah,
and then I can't go in there and I don't say hi to anybody because I pre-recorded it. So I usually go in the chat, you know what I mean? Because it's a live chat too. It acts like it's live. It's weird because it's a pre-recorded video.
I caught this by accident. I was looking at a video on a Supreme Court ruling, and your video came up next to it, and I was like, "Oh, Tommy's online. I could go say hello to Tommy Two Guns."
Right. Well, I'm glad you did. And now I'm figuring out some stuff on, right here live. I'm figuring out how
there
to
you
do
go.
shit.
You're a StreamYard expert now.
Oh yeah.
You know what we say back in the old school. You know what we say back in the old school is I learned you something.
Yeah, you learned me something. Right. All right. You have a good evening there, Sarge. And everybody out there, I love you all, man. Hi, Joanne. How you doing, girl? And what'd she say here? Here's the name. It didn't show up when he searched it. And me that. Let's go through the roster. It's there. All right. All right. You guys all have a good day and good evening. And we will catch you again later. I do have a video coming out at 9 o'clock. If you want to watch that, it's there. It's one of the up and coming things or whatever. So have a good evening, everybody. Peace out, man.